Hello, 8th grade students and families. This is Stillwater Area High School Principal Rob Bach, and I am going to take a couple of minutes to try to explain to you the quick and dirty way to make sure that your child is registered for classes at Stillwater Area High School. There is another video that we have that gives more of an introduction to Stillwater Area High School, so if you're curious a little bit more about the 9th grade experience as a whole, I encourage you to check that other piece out. This one, again, is kind of just the shortcut for parents who want to know what exactly do I need to do to get my child registered for classes and what's my task by the end of the week. All of our registration process is done online. And this year, for everyone's convenience, we have a brand new system. We've actually migrated away from Skyward, and we're using something new called PowerSchool this year. And all of you should have received a copy in the mail of what we call our registration guide. The registration guide is a super comprehensive document. It's a fantastic resource. If you've already got it and had a chance to flip through it, if your first thought was that this is pretty overwhelming, please take a deep breath and relax, because you don't need to know everything that's in the document to get registered for 9th grade classes. What's really helpful is I'll break it down for you in a very simple way, just so that, again, you know what you need to know for 9th grade registration. But I highly encourage you to continue to go back to that document and use it as a reference guide, because it will absolutely help inform you throughout your child's high school experience. And you want to start planning not just for the 9th grade classes that you're going to enroll in, but you want to start thinking about what's the whole 9 through 12 experience going to look like. And with the pathways that we have to offer, we really have an opportunity to maximize your child's experience while they're here, and that document can absolutely help with that. With that said, though, at the end of the day, the schedule that we run here at the high school is a 6-period day schedule, and we're on a semester system. That means that over the course of the year, your child is going to have 12 different classes, 6 classes each semester. Sometimes you might see those classes listed in the registration guide as an A course or a B course. A just usually refers to first semester, and B usually refers to second semester. Out of the 6 classes that your child needs to sign up for each semester, 4 of those classes are what we call core classes. Those are English, social studies, science, and math. What we mean by core classes is all of those are required classes. So even though there's a ton of different offerings here at the high school, the reality is each 9th grade student is going to have to sign up for those 4 classes. That'll leave room for electives at the end. But in each of these classes, your choices really boil down to this. In English, there are 2 different offerings for incoming 9th grade students. English 9 is our traditional English track. That's a required course for students to graduate from high school. It's a college prep course for students that want to go off to college when they're done. As an alternative to that, the one other option that's open to students is English 9 Enriched. The Enriched course is a course that is going to cover the exact same content as English 9, but it's going to move at a slightly faster pace. It's probably going to be more academically rigorous. You could probably expect there to be more reading and more writing and potentially even more speaking involved in the enriched course. And so this is going to be a more academically rigorous course than standard English 9. In social studies, there are really only 2 offerings that are open to students, even though there's a ton of different social studies courses here. In 9th grade, we're asking students to sign up for either global studies, which again is our traditional entry point for 9th grade students in social studies, or for students that prefer want a more academically rigorous experience, there is one AP course that's open to 9th grade students, and that's AP Human Geography. AP Human Geography, again, similar to what we talked about in English, it's going to cover the same state standards as global studies, but it's going to do so in a more academically rigorous way. You can expect more reading, you can expect more writing, you can probably expect more homework as a result of your experience if you choose to sign up for AP Human Geography. In science, there are 3 opportunities or 3 landing points for incoming 9th grade students. The traditional track is either physical science or STEM physical science. STEM physical science and physical science are both going to cover the same state standards, once again, so the content is the same. But in STEM physical science, it's going to be a more quantitative approach. That means there's going to be more numbers involved. You can expect a more math-oriented experience in STEM physical science as opposed to traditional physical science, which might be more qualitative in nature. That's just just making sure that we understand conceptually, but we can use words and things like that to explain what those concepts are. If your child is currently in physical science in 8th grade, then the science class that they want to sign up for is chemistry. But we're asking all of our incoming 9th grade students to sign up for one of those 3 courses in science. In math, the book is a little bit more wide open because this is going to be dependent on what math class your child is currently in 8th grade. If your child is currently in an algebra class, they're going to want to sign up for geometry. If they're currently in geometry, they're going to want to sign up for algebra 2. And there's a whole scope and sequence that's listed in the registration guide that will tell you what math class to sign up for based on what class your child is currently in. If you have any questions on any of these courses, your middle school counselor can help answer that. And also that's what our staff here at the high school is for as well. Once you get signed up for each of those 4 core areas, that's when we have room for electives. And so I'm going to walk you through what the actual registration process then will look like. And just to help with this, I am going to sign out of all of my current Google accounts because this is going to hopefully guarantee that we have a really fresh start, and this will be essentially the exact same thing as what you as parents will be looking at. This webpage here is the high school's webpage. So when you go into the Stillwater Area High School webpage, again, if you haven't been here in a little while, it's completely revamped. It's brand new and improved. And there are several different links that will take you to registration. When you click on those links, eventually you will work your way here to this little page. And one of the first things that you'll see is that it's going to tell you to follow these 5 easy steps. These 5 steps are all listed in the course guide, in the registration guide. The registration guide is designed to go chronologically to follow each of these 5 steps. So again, the guide should help, even though it looks big and there's a lot of information in there. If you follow it chronologically, it will take you all the way through there. If you don't want to digest all of that information, again, all you really need to know is the pieces that I broke down for you. But let's take a quick look. When you're all set and you've identified some electives that you want, we're going to go to Register Now in PowerSchool. And if you click on that link is going to take you to a parent sign-in page. Unfortunately, you don't have sign-in information as a parent, but there is a link down here at the bottom that says Student Sign-In, and so you're going to want to click that. You should have received on Friday the 22nd, you should have received a username and password that allows you to log into PowerSchool, and that's what you want to use for your student. We made it very easy for you. That password and login is the exact same as the Google account that your student already has, and your student probably uses that on a very consistent basis already to access all of their schoolwork. We have a made-up student by the name of Mary Pony that I made up the other day that we are going to enter in. And so once we enter in Mary's password, then it's going to take us right to Mary's page in PowerSchool. And once you log in for the very first time into PowerSchool, then it'll kind of establish a shortcut and you won't have to go through that process anymore. It'll probably take you right straight to this page. Over on the navigation tab on the left, there is a link for class registration. There's several other links, but none of which are organized yet because, again, PowerSchool is still being populated. We're starting with first things first. And so the first order of business for us is class registration. So this is the only one that's going to have much useful information for you. When you click on that, you will see a page that looks like this. And what we did is we broke down the courses by English Language Arts, Social Studies, Math, and Science. And if you remember, these are our 4 core areas. If you go over here on the upper right-hand corner of each of those boxes, there's a little box with a pencil. And if we click on that box, all of the opportunities or the offerings in 9th grade English appear. And as you can see, we have English 9 and English 9 Enriched, just like we talked about. You're going to select 2 of those courses, the A and the B course, and then we'll click OK. And once we do that, you'll see you get a little green check mark up here in the corner rather than a red exclamation point. The exclamation point means that this isn't done yet. You still have some cleanup work to do. And so we're going to go through and we're going to do that for each of the 4 core areas. So again, when we click on Social Studies, you'll see my offerings again, or my choices are AP Human Geography versus Global Studies, kind of exactly like we talked about. Maybe I want Global Studies A and B. I'm going to click OK. and away we go. With math, again, as we had talked about, when we click on this, you're going to see there's much more opportunities because math, we tend to have students on very wide ends of the spectrum. Because there are so many opportunities in math, there's actually 2 solid pages. If you want to sign up for geometry, you might notice I don't see geometry on here. But if you click on page 2 or next or something like that, you'll get the next slate of them. And maybe we want to sign up for geometry A and geometry B. We'll click OK, and we keep getting our check marks. Once you've done your science, then it gets you to your electives. And again, you're going to want to select 4 electives. And those electives can come out of the pathways area. And again, the pathways are explained in the registration guide. The idea there is that our elective courses are not organized just strictly by straight departments, but really start to think about, what does your student like? What kind of experience would they want in high school? Because in high school, especially when they become juniors and seniors, we have all kinds of opportunities, potentially even outside of the traditional school building, where students could go and have an experience off campus with someone in a work setting. And if that's something that's appealing to them, then you want to start thinking about, what courses or what electives would I want to take now in alignment with those interests that might allow for a progression that allows me to get there. But clearly, when you click on this, there's going to be far more opportunities because there's so many more electives. Again, we tried to drill it down for you in the core areas so that it wasn't very confusing and very easy to select what you want. But with the electives, there's going to be quite a few. After you have signed up for all of those pieces, we're also asking you then to sign up for alternate courses. We're asking every student to sign up for 5 alternates. So as you can see right here, please select 5 alternates. Again, your 12 courses will be signed up for here, but the alternates are just in case you might not be able to get into one of the courses that you've signed up for. Once you're all done, you'll see all kinds of check marks here, and you will have requested all of the credit hours that you need. Once you're all set, you'll click Submit. And once you click Submit, if you don't have all of the pieces that are required, your 12 courses that you want, plus your 5 alternates, it's going to kick it back to you and it's going to say you're not quite done yet, and you'll have to go in. So please give some consideration to those particular pieces. With that said, I'm going to click out, and I'm actually going to sign back in just to leave you with a couple of thoughts with regard to the registration process that you will want to know as you continue to go in and sign up for classes. The last pieces, the big ideas that you want to know is, please, please, please take your time considering what courses you want to sign up for. We have to kind of consider the selections that you make here as binding, because we are using this information to make very, very important decisions regarding staffing and the creation of our master schedule. And while it might sound real simple to just say, oh, you know what, I've changed my mind and I don't want to do the AP Human Geography course anymore, I think I'd rather go back to the regular one. What you need to know is that we are building a master schedule around all of the data that you are submitting to us. And once we start down that path, we can't change that. It's like building a gigantic Jenga tower, and I can't just take a piece out of the bottom once we've started building on that foundation. So we're asking everyone to choose carefully, because once those pieces get inputted, by the end of next week, we won't be able to change those. Secondly, please also consider all of these course selections as requests. That means that we can't guarantee that just because we signed up for a class that we're going to be able to get you into that class. Some students might not receive their first choices due to enrollment. You know, if only 8 students sign up for a course, we probably won't be able to run that course. That's why we've asked you to sign up for alternates. And so again, please make sure that you include 5 alternates. Another note is that while we will absolutely do our best to ensure that your child has the same teacher from first semester to second semester, there are some times where teachers need to change from one semester to the next. Sometimes there are scheduling conflicts, you know, especially if your student may have signed up for a very specialty course and maybe there's only one section that's running of that course. That means that that student has to get into that course in a set specific time. And so maybe their schedule might need to be adjusted with some of their other core classes. So please just know that we'll do our best to match your child up with the same teacher from first semester to second semester, but we can't guarantee that. And so along those lines, please know too that we will not accommodate teacher requests. That's just simply not a sustainable way for us to be able to build a master schedule. We have too many data points coming in. When you consider again that we have 700 students, each of whom is requesting 12 courses at a pop, there's no way that we can manage all of the teacher requests or teacher preference that goes along with that. We'll have to build the schedule the best way, which is making sure that students get into the course that they've selected, not necessarily the teacher. And then lastly is please use the tools that are provided. The registration guide is a great document. There are course descriptions that are online. There are videos that are online that will help answer many of your questions about what classes are like and what you might want to consider signing up for. And then lastly, we're asking that everyone please get your registration in by Sunday, January 31st. We're going to start doing some cleanup work immediately on February the 1st and following up with students that are not enrolled by that time. But that gives you the rest of this week to continue to talk, to ask some questions, and get yourself signed up. With that, I hope that this was informative. We are here. We know that there's going to be questions about this process, so please feel free to reach out to us here at the high school and the Student Pony Centers at any time, and we'll be glad to help. Thanks so much. Take care.